Hello and welcome to my demo for my note-taking and knowledge management app that I've been creating over the past few months. So it's written in Swift. It is a dual macOS iOS app. It started off as an iOS companion app for this other note-taking app that I was using, and then kind of evolved into this. And I've really spent most of my time on this macOS app, and it's kind of like altered the way that I deal with like my own personal data and my own like work. Um, so like I have many projects that I'm working on just kind of for fun, kind of like exploring, researching different things, and doing a lot of different things. So this has really helped me kind of organize that and like add to it and do things that I would like to do. It helps me better do the things that I want to do with my time that I have. And that's a good thing. I quite enjoy having this app to help me do that. So I tried to mirror the UI and UX off of Obsidian Markdown and iOS. Obsidian is like an open source, not open source, but like mostly open source kind of Markdown note taking software. And VS Code is the most popular code editor. It is what I use. So I kind of mirrored the UX with this command palette and kind of the formatting of everything, the tab structure. I have different panes I could bring up with like, I could open my file here and then open up another pane. And I can edit files in the way that I would edit like Obsidian. So like Obsidian has these two different views. Like one it's like the editor, the other is the view. Like I can add LaTeX, which is a math typesetting language, and it converts into math. I added screenshot functionality, and I have like functions that I can use, like for all these assets that I am not using. They all get added to this assets folder. I can clear them up and add whatever I want into this. I am still like exploring exactly what I could do with all this, but it's pretty fun, just coming up with new ideas, and this app is very conductive for that. Another thing I could do is switch themes. It just looks pretty, um, and will allow for more kind of, if I ever want to change the way it looks, it makes it easily maintainable for me to do that. Like keep it with Grubbox because that's what I use for my code editor, and it's kind of the aesthetic I went with for my computer because I'm a little nerd, and I like my computer looking pretty. But the main functionality, like reason why I built this app, was behind this kind of. I named it Jot because ChatGPT came up with like names for this. I just needed like a name for a shortcut, and it worked. Like Siri, I was trying to use Siri for it, and like Siri, if you like give it like a name that it doesn't know, then it'll like can't do the shortcut from Siri, and it was all something, and I just decided on Jot because it understood that when I said it. So that's the only reason behind that. But it is inspired by this blog post, the Twitter post that I saw from Andre Karpathy, who's the best educator on AI stuff. But what he does is he puts all of his notes into one like notes file, or like all of his like little little jots or like things he like maybe heard about or something, and like I'm like that's a good idea. Like I'm not trying to go into different folders and like go parse through all my files to just find a little piece of information that I wanted to write down. So he used like the Apple Notes app, and like it syncs well with your Mac. But like I didn't want to have to separate my Notes app, like my notes. I wanted it all to be in one place. Like why couldn't it be all in one place? And with Obsidian, which is what I was using for my other notes, the iOS app was terrible. So it just like there were like memory issues, and you couldn't really sync it well. So doing this just wouldn't work on the Obsidian app. So I tried to create my own iOS app to go be a companion for it. And then there were more like container and like app sandboxing issues that led to like me losing like days of tasks and stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna make my own Mac app. Shouldn't be that hard. I was wrong, but I have this now. So I made it. It's still a work in progress, but it works for what I needed to do. Can't say I use it like fully for everything. Like I'm not the markdown note taking is not fully flushed out. There's sometimes like bugs and stuff that are annoying, but I mostly use it for this jot and daily task functionality, along with these other separate views here. Like this is kind of just a way to see my like database that I made. Like I've kind of been like a evolving, spanning database that of different apps and stuff. Like I have this like web scraping recipe app that this is like the final output of it, and it also can like stage my recipes, add it to like this shopping list that I have. Try to get good at cooking. I'm terrible at cooking. This will maybe helpfully help me in that. And then like my thoughts that I have that I want to like want to keep track of, but not have it clutter clutter this jot here. So like I make it like easily addable than that. These are like different project ideas, and then like the knowledge is like some different like best practices for different things, and like maybe I could add this to like automate it to add it to like a Claude MD or like Agents MD file for like agentic coding and like context for that. So it's just cool to aggregate all this data, because like I feel like aggregating your own data is very important in this time, because like it's anyone that knows. But yeah, it's really cool. There's different like filters and stuff you could do. There's different filter groups with this jot. So I could add like just hello world here, and it adds to the top. And then I could add this here. It adds a little tag to it. It's just like a string of characters that I have configured in my settings for each of these filter groups. And then it just only shows those here. And then there's also some extra database stuff in the back end, which adds to more functionality that I'll be able to show in a second. But this just like allows you to be organized like easily. Like I'm not trying to have all these different folders and shit. I'm not trying to do that. So I just have one string of characters for each like project, or like I have multiples for like my school and like classes and stuff. I have like homework as one of them, like my different class names and stuff as like all falling under this one filter group. So it gets picked up by these different filters and stuff, and it's been really helpful in like organizing the things that I want to do in like an easy way that like really reduces the cognitive load necessary to manage this. But I'm not always at my computer. Believe it or not, despite having coded a lot and probably wasted a lot of my time doing this stuff, I'm not always at my computer, and I'm like out and about. I'm doing fun things that people do, but I'm not always at my computer. But I do have my phone, and something that's nice that your phone allows you to do is like, if you have an app, you can like write to that same database. And I've configured, I think, a way that has like minimized all like the least amount of friction possible. Like there's nights where I'm just like, this I'm sure you've had like nights like this where you're just like, you have all these ideas and stuff, and then you gotta go. I don't know. It just makes it easy. Like I come home from like a night, and then like have all these ideas and stuff, and just like can like type it all into my phone here, and I've minimized like about as much friction as I could to like turn a thought into like something that can be like actionable or like a reference later on when I'm doing like really actually doing work instead of just like thinking or something. And I've been able to do this through the action button, which is new on like iPhone 15s. And you can configure, it used to be like the toggle for like silent mode, but like you can configure it to be whatever you want. You could like be like, there's Apple shortcuts that can do like functions and stuff, and if you have your own app, you could like make your own shortcuts, which is great. And I made one that like kind of writes to this jot database in the same way that this would. So I'm able to basically have the same functionality with like barely any friction, right from my phone and on the go. And it syncs up pretty perfectly, and it's great. It really helps me turn ideas into like action, and that's awesome, and I love that, and it's really helped me like do a lot of things, and I've done a lot of things. And to keep it going, I wanted to even make it easier, so I made it easy to turn ideas into something I could do action with. How do you make these kind of like written down ideas into like real tangible things and stuff. And AI really allows that to be easy. So was my DM. That was my tag I had just for this demo video. You can see it's at the end here. So let's just say like HTML to-do list. Like this is an idea I have. So like let's just say like maybe this is like some functionality to an app or something. Like if you have like a big code base, like there's a lot of other context involved. But if you have like a bug or something and like you find it out somewhere and you just write it down here, and or like a new idea for an app or something, or like a different functionality you want, or like a prototype, you could write it down here and it stays in it's easy to write down. But what I've made is I made a MCP server that so you can use Claude Code, Codex, whatever coding agent you'd like to use to go do a like access data from an MCP server. You could say like, please implement the last thing from my demo shots. I can't type, but this thing can type for me. So it pulls the data and sees that like I have one task that's left, and these code files, these coding agents are incredible. Like at this point, ever since GPT-5, like it's been so easy to code. Like if you feel like you just like kind of can make forward progress on anything that you're doing, which is not something that could be said before. So yeah, so here it's a simple app. Like your little brother could do this. It's not hard at all anymore, and you could just do this. And it's probably gonna be AI styled, which is not anything crazy. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong directory. But here we go. And here is the to-do list, and it's got at least some functionality. You can check things off. Look at that. And it was that easy. It took 5 seconds, and it wouldn't have existed if I didn't do that. And it now exists in the world. And this just like allows you to make things super easily. So what directory I was in before was something I made yesterday. It's just like you could do anything with this like ability. It's really fun. Here is something that I made yesterday. I'm just trying to like do some stuff with like control Claude code from the web, but you're just not meant to do that. So I just switched to APIs. I made this. I saw this like art from an ASCII artist. I added like the link to my website. Like this is like ASCII Playground. I can link it in the demo of this, but it's pretty awesome. But there's all these different things here, and like you could just kind of combine it all. Like these LLMs are really good at combining things that like already exist in like novel ways. Like it's harder to like prove a new theorem, but like they can code a React app for you pretty easily. So this is kind of, it's been fun. It's been fun making things like this. Just like any idea I have, I could just turn into something. And this is like a locally hosted model. It's 1 billion parameters. It runs pretty well on my computer. So let's just close out this demo here with a little poem. To write me a philosophical poem to close out my demo video. And yeah, this didn't exist yesterday. I made it yesterday with this coding
Okay, here's a poem to close out your demo video, aiming for a contemplative and slightly melancholic feel. Let me know what you think. We can refine it if you'd like.
Thanks, Gemma.
Asterisk.
I could parse the markdown.
Asterisk the echo and potential asterisk. The screen reflects a restless glow, a captured moment, poised to flow. You've shown the world what you can do, a glimpse of futures, bright and true. But shadows linger, subtle, deep, as inspiration starts to sleep. A question whispered, soft and low, what asterisk is asterisk the next? Where does it go? This demo's form, a polished heart, can mask the spaces in your heart. A skillful build, a measured pace, but does it truly fill a space? Perhaps the value isn't shown, but seeds of thought, uniquely sown. A flicker sparked, a nascent gleam, a pathway forged within a dream. So let the echo gently fade, of potential, bravely made. And know this moment, brief and bright, is just the launch, the guiding light. Asterisk, asterisk. How does this resonate with you?
Wow.
Would you like me to adjust the tone, more optimistic, more reflective? Add a specific image or metaphor? Keep it short or longer?
It's still going. There we go. But yeah, like you could just make things, and obviously, like this is not a complete fleshed out thing, but I just made it yesterday just for fun, and I just had the idea and I made it, and you could do that same thing, and it's cool, and yeah, I mean I don't really have much else to say, but like this kind of makes me optimistic for the future. People can make whatever they want, at least in the realm of software. We are now right there in the real world, but software is abundant. You could fit any workflow you ever want, and it's only going to get easier as these better coding models get better. And yeah, you could do the same. World future is going to be weird, at least the future of software. So be wary. It was great. Thank you for sticking along with me this whole demo. It's been a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but thank you.